I didn't realize it until I started getting into music myself here in the Cleveland scene, which is on a smaller scale than like what you're working on, but everyone knows everyone, man. Like, and that's like kind of what you're gonna realize is that like, one thing I saw personally is that like you never know who someone else knows, and a lot of time in the smaller markets you hear people bad mouthing other people, but what they don't know is that you've already worked on 3 records with that person 10 years ago, 5 years ago. You've worked with so many people. How do you sift through all that BS, and how do you keep it clean? Because that's a hard topic in itself. And you and I speak on this outside of this.
Yeah.
I mean, we just had a conversation earlier today.
Yeah.
So I think that's kind of something I would like to talk on, because if I wasn't in, I wouldn't know this.
It's just this. It's like, it depends on what type of person you want to portray yourself to be and what's real.
Okay.
And what's real is the fact that if someone disrespects you, in me personally, in my way of life,
right.
If someone disrespects me, I'm at their throat immediately, whether it's social media or whatever. And that's why I have a manager now where it's like, hey, I wouldn't post that, or hey, I wouldn't say that, or hey, I wouldn't do that. But like,
not everyone has that.
But dude, I was raised different, bro. You come at me crazy, bro, I'm coming at you sideways as fuck. Like, I don't care, man. So when you hear some of the people talking down, honestly, man, Cleveland is just full of people who are super talented, super gifted, and have a lot to offer to the music industry and the world in other ways. But there's so much hating going on here that, I mean, I've been a part of it. I've been hated on. I've gotten arguments where I've resulted in hating back on someone.
Okay, now I'm interested. You got me hooked.
Yeah, we'll keep it $150, but it's just, dude, I can't understand why people consistently acknowledge the fact that people are hating on each other in the city, and then be surprised when some of the top artists that have ever come out of the city leave here. Okay. Because you wonder why. You know what I'm saying? Like, you wonder why did Cuddy leave?
So do you think this is a reoccurring theme within music throughout the country, or is this a Cleveland or even a Midwest or East Coast versus West Coast? Is it isolated here, or is this a bigger problem?
It's just, I think, honestly,
I think that's a big question, because it depends where you're from.
I mean, I'm sure there's haters in every city on some magnitude or another, but I mean, when you're talking about more from what I know in Cleveland, dude, like, there'll be people that I have records that are out or just dropped, and people will show love for like the first couple of days because it's the trending thing to
That's
show
cool
love.
to do. It's cool to help out.
But then it gets down to the nitty gritty of the situation of, he's a competition now. He's not.
There's more that goes on.
Or he's not from the Heights, or he's not from, you know, down the way, or he's not from, you know, EC or whatever. But it's like, why can't people just be proud of something, of a product coming from Cleveland and being out? Why do you gotta fucking hate or bring someone's day down? Why can't you just go and be like, yo, that's ill that you're doing this?
Yeah.
Why is that so hard to people? And that's what bothers me. Because that's why my circle's so small. My circle is a believer of each other and the common goal of making it in general. And it's not based off of, I can't blow him up bigger than me, or I can't post him because if I post him, then he might blow bigger than I do. Or it's not that at all, man. I want every artist I work with to win. Why wouldn't I? It helps me. It helps the artist. It helps the brand. It helps the product. It helps.
I don't think people understand that, though.
But I don't understand. And I honestly, like, you know, people do those master classes and shit online, like Daniel grind you with poker, or like learn how to talk golf with fucking Tiger Woods. I want to do one for fucking Cleveland people that are just like, dude, think back to how gifted you are, and think back to the fact of you did something special.
Yeah.
So did somebody else. Show love. Even if you had to go out of your way to screenshot, crop, edit, and drop, it takes 2 minutes. This city is only going to survive if people come together in not only what they just did for COVID-19, but in this situation right here in music, man. It's like we don't survive without everybody coming together. So I just feel strongly about it, and I feel like the negative shit is a bunch of people who just don't give a fuck and just out for the wrong reasons, and that's okay. Their careers will be here and they'll be gone.
Right.
Couple days, couple months, couple years, you know.
But I guess that kind of gets me going, because now with everything out there that you can make music your own, like there's so many people out there, like how do you even cipher through the right people to work with? Like you're saying, like you need people in your corner that are going to fight for you. How do you know who the right people are then? That's a tough question.
It is a really tough question, and honestly, I can only answer it in this sort of way. I build a rapport with my people before I work with them. So
wait, let me stop you there. How do you build rapport?
Okay, so I'll give you an example. With an artist we both know. This is the most organic situation I've ever been in. So I was on YouTube scrolling through in the wormhole like everybody is about between 9 and 12 at night. Yeah. And I come across this video of this dude posted, it says Young Cat. And I'm like, 42. What is this? And I'm like, I had to play it back. And I played it back. So I put out a tweet. Or I put out no, it wasn't a tweet. It was an IG story message.
Okay.
And, or IG story. And I said, someone get a hold of Young Cap for me. I need to work with this dude.
So I haven't even heard this story, and I'm friends with Cap.
Yeah.
AU. So I can't wait.
And what happened was, 2 days later, I get a DM from Cap himself, because I tagged Cap in it. I get a DM from Cap, and we're just going back and forth and talking about stuff, and he was friends with Cassidy King at the time, and I just did Cassidy's record. And he was like, yo, let's work. You know, and it's just like, all right, well, I'm not the type of guy to have his beats on YouTube or on BeatStars or anything like that. People get ripped off every day. I'm not getting ripped off for time and effort that I put into. So my only way...
I think we got to touch on that later, by the way.
We will. Okay. But the only way, basically, to get a hold of me at that time was to hit me and say, let's work. And if I believed in it, I'd work. So with Cap, he hit me, he came over to my house.
How quick did he hit you?
3 days later.
3 days.
And within that morning of, he was over by 6 p.m. that day.
He came quick.
Yeah. And
so he respected you as much as you were respecting him in that moment.
We were just going over records, and I was listening to him spit, and I want to catch a vibe with the artist before I invest myself. My time is myself. Me, anything that I do with somebody is investment for me. It's what I can contribute and put into it. So with that scenario, we just sat back and played a bunch of records, and he had some cool ideas and whatnot, and
some bad ones too.
I mean, obviously,
I've just seen your face.
It's never going to be. It's never always going to be a hit, and his talent is far beyond anything I've seen at his age in the city. Different. So we just went for it, and we did about 2 hours, and then we didn't have a record at the time.
Okay.
We had a couple ideas, and I sent him some beats that day, and we go outside, and I look at him, he looks at me, and we're just like, all right, let's do this. So we did it. And
what's it called?
We fast forward 4 months later, we had a track.
Is that Way Up?
We had a track called Way Up
with Baker Mayfield.
With Baker
I remember
doing
that.
His little dance and everything. And I made Way Up about a week before I flew to LA for the Hotel Diablo writing sessions.
Wow.
And while I was there, I think toward the end of it, we were out of the studio and I got a chance to finish it. And I sent it to him before I got in the airplane. Oh, no. Okay, so this is how it actually went. I sent it to him the day before I got on the flight. And right before I got on the airplane, I was outside smoking a cigarette because I got to smoke like 4 cigarettes before a flight because I know I'm not going to, especially from LA to Cleveland, it's 4.5 hours. Yeah. I call him and I said, what are you doing? He's on the top of the world. We just recorded Way Up.
Who are you working with? Matt, Top of the World?
He was with Matt the Flame, which is a homie of mine. That's another guy I want to work with eventually, Matt the Flame. Me and him got some
That's
got
one of my
some shit in
homies
the
as
works.
well. Yeah,
we got
good,
some shit in
good
the works.
people.
We study in the DM. So he sent me a rough draft of Layup, and I said, this is a hit.
This is it, yeah.
And then fast forward, it's I think one of his best records, but that's unbiasedly because I made the beat and he did the bars, but I think
It's
a lot of
collective,
I think it's a fan favorite. I think it goes up every time we go out.
Every time I've been at one of his shows, and I've been to plenty Uncapped shows, he plays Way Up. There's a reason for it. It's a hit.
Yeah, man.
People just don't know it.
Yeah.
If you're in Cleveland, you know it.
I would like to hope so, but I don't. You know me, man. I'm just not like.
Sure.
Hey, do you know this record? Or hey, that's my record.
But that's you.
I know, man. I know.
You're not everyone.
It's a gift and a curse, though, bro. Because sometimes it's cool to feel the satisfaction, but at the same time, it's like, why do I need satisfaction from somebody else? I know what I felt when I made the record.
I know.
So.